What's up, Gracie Insiders? It's time for another technique of the month. This month, my older brother, Hiron, is on a business trip, so I brought to assist me today my younger brother, Brian. So today we think it's a good idea to teach you guys the Kimura from the guard. In previous Gracie Insider videos, you've learned the Kimura from the side mount and a couple variations actually from the side mount in different months. Today I want to show you one of my favorite applications of this technique from the guard as we teach it here at the Gracie Academy. So, let me show you how we get there, obviously. Most of you guys who are watching this video have done Jiu-Jitsu before, but some of you who haven't, let me kind of frame the situation for you. The goal in a fight is to achieve the mount. Hold the person down, win the fight from here. But it's not always that easy. Let's say you get on top of the person, your mount control techniques are not that amazing, the person pushes you off, you lose the mount. Number one objective when you get to the bottom is to close your legs and establish the guard. Stage one of the punch block series. If you haven't learned the punch block series, you might in a future lesson. But for today, understand, we want to control the neck and wrap the arm and keep them close. When someone's on top of us, having our legs wrapped around like this prevents them from having any punch potential. So stay very close. Now, Kimura. It's a shoulder lock that can be applied from many positions. Today we're going to see how to do it from down here. So from here, there are two main applications for the Kimura from the guard. One is when I'm controlling here, and the person who does not like to be trapped right here will try to get up in one of two ways. Either bring his hands on the inside and push off my body to break away for posture. But if he does that and his hand comes in, go ahead. I want to swim back inside. I don't like his hands inside. I want his hands outside. And if he keeps his hands outside and begins to sit up, look, I ride him up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I have his arm wrapped up for the boom, scoot out, and then lock him up, and then break the shoulder here. We call this variation the rider variation of the Kimura. Check it out. As Brian sits up, watch this. Go back down. He's picking me up. So if he's determined to get up, my neck hug will keep me close enough so that as he does, I'm going to put that foot on the ground and this elbow on the ground. Go ahead. 1. As soon as that happens, my hips go out. 2. And then as soon as that happens, 3. We shoot the armpit. Go around the back, sink it in. And as I'm doing this, I'm fishing for his hand right here. And I grab the wrist here. Control this tight. And now, pushing off my feet, I throw my back onto the ground. Boom, lay down heavy. They might try to resist that. When you do this, keep his arm bent towards your hip. Trap their leg right here. Hold the hand down south. And now scoot your hips and your shoulder. And your hips and your shoulder. So that your body, if you can check it out. Come check out from this angle over here, please. Notice how Brian's shoulder here is close to the ground. And my body's completely out from underneath him. I'm facing him from a sideways angle. That gives me the ripping potential that I need for this move. Okay? So from here, look, I want to take his hand and do like a windshield wiper. Keeping his elbow to my chest and driving it straight up north. One more time. So from here again, as Brian sits up, watch elbow foot. Again, how do I get my elbow to the ground so beautifully? I ride him up. If he sits up and I let him go, and now I try to sit up, it's ugly. But if he sits up, look, and I go with him. So the intensity of my neck hug keeps him so that he pulls me up. Go ahead. Look. Come back down. Now, once he pulls me up, elbow foot at the same time, and then immediately shoot. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3. My hips shoot out, if you didn't see that. Watch the video again. Shoot in, lock everything up tight here. Shoot the armpit, and then fish the hand, and then grab your own wrist. Hold everything tight, throw yourself to the ground, trap the foot, scoot, 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 scoot. Lock it up tight, keep the arm bent. One common mistake here is that they straighten their arm out. No good. Keep it bent tight right here, so they can't straighten it out. Lock it up, 90-degree bend, and then go north with it. There's one secret detail here on scooting out your hips. Let me show you. As he sits up, elbow, foot, hip, shoot. So we're riding him up, the rider variation. Look, from here, throw your back down. If Brian is on his knees, as he is right now, instead of trapping his leg right here, I can put my leg over his back and use my leg on his back as my pivot point or my push-off to get my hips and shoulders out. Why is this better than trapping the leg? Because when you trap the leg, essentially, his hips are free. If he lifts his hips very high, he might be able to roll right here. Roll. Look. Go back. So instead,
When you get out here, or you're straight right here, and you want to scoot out, as you fall down, look, trap the back. Now watch, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder. Now that I have my angle, lock your legs, trap the arm, and guess what? Boom. Go north with it. Keep it pivoted to your chest. A lot of people here squeeze with just their arm strength instead of their whole body. Look at my body, look at my shoulders. Serious business. So, pivot off their back, hip scoot, shoulder scoot, all the way out to the side. One more time in slow motion. As he sits up, elbow, foot, click, hips. The hand goes over, don't go in front. Goes over and around. Grab, grab. Rotate a little. Check this out. When you're here, if he's very strong, just laying down won't be enough. So right here, I lift my butt off the ground, and I push my shoulders back by myself. Solo demo. Look how much weight is driving on the shoulders instead of just doing this, which is very weak. So if they're much bigger, big arms, you can use that trick. Also, very important detail. As he sits up, I ride him up, elbow, foot, hip out. The hip out gives me balance, so I can shoot my hands in. When you lock up, some of you will have trouble reaching your own wrists right here. If you have little arms, watch. Slide this arm, instead of the armpit, go further down by the elbow. The armpit, elbow, wrist. Lock it up. Keep it tight, hips up, boom, drive back. Keep his arm bent and keep it hugged to your chest. Now look, foot on his body. Now, when will the foot on the body not work? When their pelvis is laying flat on your leg. If he's fallen to his hips, I can't pivot off his back because his weight on my thigh limits my hip scoot mobility. So what do? I trap the leg instead. Now, pushing off the ground, I have much greater shrimp out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can go. So, by yourself, Brian, as the bad guy? As the bad guy by yourself? That's the bad guy. Show him the side of it. I want you all to see how your behavior. So as he gets arm locked and he gets pulled down on his shoulder, fall down forward. If he falls on his knees, stand your knees. If he's on his knees like this and his hips are up, you can pivot off the back and scoot your hips out. But if his hips drop down a little bit, then trap the leg and make your scoot happen. Because when your foot's on the ground, you have much better scoot potential. Thank you. Kimura from the guard, rider variation. I spoke too much. I gave you too many good details. We don't have time for the second variation, my favorite variation. But guess what? I'll do my best to make it next month's technique of the month. Thanks for joining us. Have fun with this one. We'll see you guys next month.